Good evening. Good evening. Thank you very much for that fine introductions. It's always an honor and privilege to be here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, uh, talking to the fine people of Pennsylvania at a most critical time in our nation's history. You know, this election coming up in just a few short months has often been talked about as a vote on democracy and the future of democracy. And it really is. We have candidates out there on the campaign trail that are right now attacking one another. Some are talking about the issues, and I appreciate that. I really do. Others are throwing barbs at one another and attacking one another. Tonight, what I want to do here is I want to talk to you about my position. I'm not going to attack a candidate verbally. I don't believe in running that type of campaign. As we gather here today, I come before you not just as a candidate, but as a steadfast advocate for our shared vision of a brighter future. These past 3 years have tested our nation's resolve like never before. From the unprecedented challenges of a global pandemic to the deepening divides that threaten our unity, we have faced trials that have pushed us to our limits. Yet, in the face of adversity, we have shown resilience and strength, providing time and again that the American spirit cannot be broken. It cannot be broken, and it will not be broken. Amidst these challenges, I hold dear the values instilled in me by my home state of Texas. Growing up in the vibrant city of Dallas, I learned firsthand the importance of hard work, resilience, and community. Whether it was helping with my family's small business, it was a very small business, or witnessing neighbors coming together to support one another in times of need, I saw the unwavering spirit of determination and solidarity that defines Texans. And I'm sure it defines Pennsylvanians as well. It's with these values, Texas values, that I pledge to lead our nation forward, ensuring that every American has the opportunity to thrive and succeed. From rebuilding our economy to confronting pressing issues like healthcare and education, I am committed to fighting for justice and equality for all. Guided by the principles of integrity, compassion, and resilience, dedication to serving the people, during this time we have achieved remarkable progress. We witnessed a significant reduction in unemployment from a staggering 15% to now we're just around 3.5%. It's at a half century low. But let us not rest on our laurels. That's a lot of achievement that we've done. But let's don't stop working. As your future leader, I am committed to overhauling our unemployment system to ensure that every American has access to opportunities they need to thrive. No longer will our system be susceptible to exploitation or leave fellow citizens behind. Instead, we will create a robust framework that empowers individuals and strengthens our economy from the ground up. We must also recognize the need to invest in our education system. Our classrooms are the foundation of our children's success, and it is imperative that we provide our teachers with the resources they need to educate and inspire the next generation. My Back to Basics education plan will support our teachers, provide quality education, and prepare our students for success in the 21st century economy. And it really is, Back to Basics really is a foundation for the success of our education system. As you all know, I'm married to an educator, almost 29 years. Known her for over 30 years, but almost 29 years we've been married. She's a pre-K teacher in Texas at a charter school. And as we all know, teachers do so much work. Uh, a lot of people get drawn into the education field by the hours. They think, oh, I'll work 7:15. I work 7:15 to 3:45. I'm out the door. I get summers off. Oftentimes, that first week they're in school, they realize it's 7:15 to 8 o'clock at night. Sometimes it's taking home a computer, it's grading papers, it's calling parents, it's PTA nights, it's event nights at school. It's a whole lot more than what you think it is. Every one of our teachers in this country work hard and are dedicated to the success of our students. Think about this here tonight. Every morning, and I know this is true back in Texas at our school, but every morning at 7:15, you drop off, and it may be different here in Pittsburgh, but I know back in Texas at 7:15, you drop off your most prized possession, your child, and you're entrusting that child to a group of adults and staff members with the hope that when you return at dismissal time, they are smarter, they are well taken care of, and they are learning and they're growing as individuals. And that takes a lot of work. That takes a lot of work. And so my Back to Basics plan, one of the aspects of it is to have a significant increase in teacher pay. And this is not going to be another Washington power grab. What it's going to be is we're going to provide the funding from the national level to the state levels so that the teachers can get paid for the work they do. Because if you look at it right now, teachers don't make a lot of money. They don't make a lot of money. Oftentimes, teachers are living on the poverty level and after working 80 hours or so a week. Why is that happening? Why are we paying the guardians of our future? Why are we paying them such that they're living on the poverty level? We've got to change that. And under Back to Basics, we will. Additionally, I stand firm in my belief of a woman's right to make their own reproductive choices. We must protect access to comprehensive reproductive health care and support women in making the best decisions for themselves and their families. This means fighting back against effort to restrict access to essential health care services and ensuring that every woman has the freedom to control her own body and future. Furthermore, I am a staunch supporter of Obamacare, or what's been called the Affordable Care Act. That's the official name of it. It has provided millions of Americans with the access to affordable health care and protections for pre-existing conditions. As your leader, I will work tirelessly to defend and strengthen Obamacare, ensuring that every American has the access to quality, affordable health care. And I talked about that teacher. The exorbitant cost of prescription drugs have burdened far too many hardworking families across our nation. It is time to stand up to the powerful pharmaceutical companies and fight for affordable health care for all Americans. And I told you about that teacher. And I'm going to cite an example. I know I talked about her almost every time I do a speech. But here we have a teacher. And again, I've already mentioned to you what the pay is. And it's not much. I mean, considering what a teacher does, they deserve more. Under Back to Basics, they are going to get more pay. But she has a prescription that it's not a prescription she wants. It's a prescription that she needs. And it costs her $700 a prescription. $700. How is that fair? When Big Pharma over here is making billions in profits. There's this commercial, and I haven't seen it actually on TV a whole lot lately, and I won't mention the element or the drug, but this gentleman comes on, and he talks about the cost of the drug and how at a major drugstore, he paid $450 for the medicine. But yet, you go through this prescription plan, and for the same medicine, he's paying like $38 to $40. Why can't we do that across the board? It is ridiculous that Americans are paying $450 for medicine that they need. And oftentimes, what you're doing, if you think about it, oftentimes what you're doing is you're paying for the name. Think about what it costs to create that medicine. It's not much. But we need to get to the point where every American is paying what this one individual person on this TV ad does with this medicine that he wants. I will work to tirelessly lower drug prices, increase transparency, and ensure that no one has to choose between putting food on the table and filling their prescriptions. That should never be a choice. It should never be a choice that do we fill the prescription that we need, or do we eat dinner? Never should that be a choice. We're living in exciting times here. And as we embrace the transition to electric vehicles, we must also recognize the need to invest in our infrastructure. To support this shift, the future of transportation, it is electric, and we must ensure that our roads charging stations, and power grids are ready to meet the demands of tomorrow. By investing in clean energy infrastructure, we not only create jobs and stimulate the economy, but we also pave the way for a sustainable future for generations to come. Now, I'm going to make this commitment to you this evening here in Pittsburgh. There's been a lot of talk by the candidates running for office here that they're going to make a 20, 30-year commitment to go to EV vehicles. I'm going to stand here tonight, and I'm going to tell you from this podium here tonight, we will not convert to EV vehicles until the infrastructure in this country is ready. You have my word on it. As long as I'm in power, that will not happen until there's infrastructure in this country to support it. Imagine a city like Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Imagine it, having one charging station. That's what I have back in my hometown, a town of 36,000 people just to the south of Dallas. Have one charging station with, I believe, five ports on it. Now, there may be more, but I know of one. How fair is that? When we get charging stations, when homes have them, when every business has them, when there's infrastructure provided like there is gas stations, we'll convert, but not a day before. But our challenges extend beyond our borders. We must secure borders and reestablish order to protect our nation's security. This means investing in smart, effective border security measures that keep our communities safe while upholding our values as a nation of immigrants. And additionally, the fentanyl crisis continues to devastate communities across our country, claiming lives and tearing families apart. We cannot afford to stand by idly while this epidemic rages on. As your leader, I will take decisive action to combat the spread of fentanyl increase across into increase access to addiction treatment and recovery services, and hold those responsible for its production and distribution accountable. And really, the fentanyl crisis is a side result of the border crisis. Think about the amount of fentanyl that's crossed our country in the last few years. Think about that. Enough fentanyl has crossed our border to kill every single American. Think about that. Think about that for a moment. Every single American. It's time that we get this under control because this drug is so dangerous, and we're wiping out generations. We're wiping out. It needs to come to a stop, and I believe the border security, and also better education about this drug will bring it to an end. In the Middle East, the Israeli-Palestinian conflict remains a deeply entrenched and complex issue that demands our attention. I firmly believe in a two-state solution where Israel and Palestine can coexist in peace and security. It's time to bring an end to decades of conflict and work towards a brighter future for all. Furthermore, we must address the growing economic inequality in our country by implementing a fairer tax system. It's time to raise taxes on the wealthy and reduce them for the working class. For too long, the burden of taxation has fallen disproportionately on hard-working Americans, while the wealthiest among us have enjoyed a tax breaks and loopholes. For example, billionaires and large corporations often exploit loopholes to pay lower tax rates than middle-class families. It's time to level that playing field and ensure that everyone pays their fair share by raising taxes on the wealthy. We can generate the revenue needed to invest in our nation's future and create a more equitable society for all. Think about that. If we level the playing field and tax the wealthy, we have the money to spend on the education. We have the money to spend on the programs this country needs. It is time to make the tax system in this country fair, and under my administration, we will. Together we can restore patriotism and reinforce the fundamentals that make our nation great. This is not just it's not just a campaign, but a movement to restore the greatness of the United States of America. So I ask for your support, your vote, and your partnership in this journey towards a stronger, more united nation. And really it is. When it comes to patriotism, I remember back in high school, my government teacher, civics teacher, you took senior civics, and all year long you learned about how a bill becomes a law, Congress, the House, the Senate. And in the spring, you became a member of Congress. You actually got to write a bill. You got to present it. You got to serve in committees. And that's where it lit the fire for me for public service. That's where I knew that I can make a difference in this world. The mayor of my hometown in Texas had the same teacher. And she now currently serves as the second elected Black mayor of our city. And I'm so proud of her. I'm so proud of Mayor Proctor, what she does for our city. 20 years ago or so, there was an occupant of the Oval Office that had this painting on the Oval Office wall, painted by a fellow Texan a guy by the name of Tom Lee. Tom writes about this painting, gorgeous painting. It's called Near El Paso. If you've ever been to El Paso, there's a lot of mountains out there. But Tom writes about how him and his wife, Sarah, live on the east side of the mountain. For it's living on the east side of the mountain that you can see the sunrise of the day ahead, not the sunset of the day it's past. My fellow Americans and fellow Pennsylvanians, so many of the candidates in this race live on the west side of the mountain. They believe that America's best days are behind us, and they are not. I firmly believe we live on the east side of the mountain, and our best days are yet to come. May God bless you. May God bless our troops, and may God bless the United States of America. Thank you all very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you.